Come get your victory at the table. Let's talk. Let's talk. Come get your victory at the table. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on whatever time you have decided to tune in with us. We would like to welcome you to another episode of Victory at the Table Talk, where we have down-to-earth conversations about various topics to assist with your walk with Christ. Here at the table, you can get the victory, but you can also get a taste of Victory Apostolic Church right here in Matson, Illinois, where we are building victorious Christ-like lives. Enjoy this episode.
Hello, and welcome to Victory at the Tabletop. I am Iris, and you are here with Singled Out, and I have with me my co-host, Trent, and we also have an awesome audience here who will be joining us in our conversation. And today what we'll be talking about, we're having a series called Myths of Being Single. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics, a lot of different myths and stereotypes about being a Christian single. So that's what we're going to start with. So the first thing you're going to see is a video that we're going to watch, and we're then just going to discuss about that. So watch this. We'll be right back.
Hey,
Hi,
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's your name?
Mariah?
You were familiar. John Knight from somewhere?
Yeah, I think you went to Illinois State, didn't you?
That's it right there.
Yeah, I remember you used to live in Wilkins.
Right.
Yeah.
My name Reese.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to see you again.
Yeah.
How long you been working on here?
For about 2 weeks, the past 2 weeks. But this is my first time coming to a class, so I'm kind of excited. I'm going to try to spend class today.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your thing. I don't want to interrupt you, but are you doing anything after this?
No, not really. What you trying to do something?
Yeah, would you like to go out to eat or something?
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my number.
Okay. Here, you can put it in there.
All right, got you.
What year did you graduate?
2020.
Oh, nice. Okay, new alumni in the building. I see you.
Oh, yeah, you already know.
All right.
Well, I'll hear from you soon.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
All right. Well, we just watched the video of obviously, guy and a girl come up, meet, about to go in the workout, and it's just, let's get coffee. So it left there, kind of was like this hanging of, so in that situation, guy, girl, meet, what's next? What happens next?
Yeah, it's really interesting because, like, I think it could go both ways. Because I don't want to, as from a guy's perspective, I don't want to say, hey, jump out there and say, hey, you want to go out when, in essence, I don't really like you, So, you just don't want to jump out there. For me personally, you need to like slap me across the face with like a frying pan to let me know. So
when you say I don't really like you, you're thinking more so I just kind of like your vibe, or
right.
I'm not attracted to you.
Right.
So physical attraction.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's like, you just don't want to be too forward. That's the word. So you don't want to be too forward. So what do you think?
So and I get what you're saying. It sounds like you're saying, you don't want to lead somebody on. Mm-hmm. And so the idea, the topic, what we're getting around is this idea of, so they just met. Is it foreseen that there can be a platonic friendship, or do you think that the guy is automatically thinking, what you said, I don't want her to think that I like her. But what if she's not thinking that? Can it just be, we're just going to hang out and we like each other's company, like we have similar things in common? Can you be friends with another woman? And how does that work, or how does that look? Or is that not really possible? Is it always in the back of your mind? Because this is what I hear as a woman. Mm-hmm. This is what we hear. And our studio audience can chime in if they want. And we also want our audience that is watching us, our virtual family and friends, come into the chat, have your comment of, can men and women really be friends? Can they have a platonic relationship or not? Some of your comments, we'll read them. Trent and I will read them, and it may even make it to the next podcast. But add in what you're thinking as well. our studio audience has any comment about this idea of can you just be friends? Or in the back of your mind as a guy, and this is what I've heard, so don't get mad at me. But what I've heard is that guys kind of compartmentalize when they meet a woman. And they're like, yes, no, maybe, meeting mom, not meeting mom. She's in this category for late, whatever that idea may be. Is that true? Or is it like, no, I can be friends with her? I know for me what it means, but tell me more about what that might mean for you.
I mean, me personally, I can't speak for all guys.
Exactly, here we go.
Can't speak for all guys. But I am going to say for me personally, I mean, I have a lot of female friends who I'm not necessarily attracted to. I'm not going to say, they're, unattractive at all.
You're not attracted to them.
Right. I'm just not attracted to them. I feel like what happens is a lot of times, we talked about this last week, when a lot of people aren't comfortable with that gender crossing friendship. So, we talk about, Susie and, Johnny sitting in the tree, KISSING. A lot of people aren't comfortable with, men and women just being friends.
Right.
And so I don't find anything wrong with it. I just feel like from the get-go, men or women, if you want to pursue like a friendship or something like that, you need to let your motives be known from the beginning. All right. So I just think boundaries are definitely necessary within friendships and relationships.
That's a good point. That letting your intentions be known.
Yeah.
What about if you're attracted to the person? You said you're not attracted to them. What if you're attracted to the person? Can you really sincerely be platonic? If you like, I'm liking that right there. Can that happen?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So it's different. It depends on the attraction level then.
Yeah, it's really different because how can you be sincerely friends with someone you have romantic feelings for? It's a recipe for disaster either for yourself or for the other person.
Right.
So, I think it's kind of it's a tricky subject that a lot of people really don't talk about.
Yes,
what do you think,
that's true.
Iris?
I agree with what you said. For me personally, I can't. It's hard, even though I might fool myself because you tell everybody, oh, we're just friends, knowing in the back of your mind, if he looked at me half away, like, oh, he just looked at me a little extra.
Right. He said, "Come to Lauryn Hill concert tonight."
My hair up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. If it's somebody I'm attracted to, it is definitely. At that point, I feel like I'm working really hard to act like we're friends because that's not really what I'm feeling. I'm attracted to you. That now it's been easier for me, of course, with people that I'm not attracted to. We're real good friends, and it's not a problem because I don't have that attraction. So I do agree with you that but I don't know if I've been upfront with people that I'm not attracted to because I don't ever want to lead anybody on.
Right.
But I honestly can say I don't know if I've necessarily been upfront with people that I am attracted to because that's more vulnerability involved. So I haven't said, I like you. No. I'm not saying that.
Don't do that.
So it is, like you said, it's a really hard minefield, it feels like, to walk into. I want to get some more input. We're having a good conversation. I'm putting you all on the spot just so you know. So get all your good looks together. So what any thoughts you all have about this idea of can men and women be friends?
In my opinion, I feel like men and women can be friends if there's not that, like Trent said, that attraction. But also at the same time, what if, and this is a question here, what if, like someone like Trent, who says he has a lot of female friends, right? So what happens when that female friend has another spouse or friend, whatever, who then is kind of leery of your friendship. They're jealous. They feel some type of way. They've never experienced that before. It's always been every person I've dated, all their friends are female, or all their friends are male. It's never been this situation where now I got to feel like I compete with this other guys for my girl's attention or vice versa.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So if you're dating, if both people aren't single, I know I have my thought about that.
You go first.
Okay.
You go first. I go last.
I'm definitely the person that when you're in a committed relationship, not we're just dating and we're going out, but a committed relationship, that you want to be above board in all scenarios. So I don't want my partner to feel any kind of way Just I wouldn't want them to make me feel any kind of way. So it's
Right.
no, oh yeah, I'm going to dinner with Tina. No, you're not. We going to dinner.
Yeah.
You not going to dinner with Tina. We'll go together, and Tina need to bring somebody with her. I can help hook her up. It's not gonna be a 2-on-1. But yeah, no. And I know we're gonna have a nice little comment about that one too. I'm sure.
Yeah. Hashtag sing
gonna
victory.
Now we gonna have a hashtag. Okay, but yes, I think you have to be aware of that. That's a good point you brought up, is that you don't want to make anyone feel, you don't want to create a problem where there isn't one. You want to be above board and everything. So having a single friend when you're in a relationship, I think requires you to be honest, like you were saying ahead of time. And saying, especially if the friend was there for a long time, because I do have a male friend that I've been friends with like for 13 years.
Right.
But I wouldn't necessarily tell the guy I'm dating, oh yeah, me and him are just going to hang out. That wouldn't be appropriate. It would be, bringing that in, because I think you're just making potential problems. So, and that's of course easier said than done, but I wouldn't want to do that. So
Yeah, I totally see your perspective on that.
it's like it's gonna be a but in there, but
I think it kind of comes down. Well, this is my opinion personally. I think it comes down to trust at the same time. I don't personally see it being an issue. You have one female friend. Now, if you're hanging out with her, every day and every night, that's an issue. But I feel like, hey, if you haven't given your partner a reason to feel like there's an issue or there's a problem, okay, go see Shanae, one day next week, something like that. But I feel like there shouldn't be an issue as long as you haven't given your partner a reason. Now, I feel like a lot of people sometimes they complain in a relationship, like, you don't let me have any female friends. Well, so you cheated last time you had a friend. So it just comes down to, I feel like, the comfortability with relationships and different things like that. But no, I totally get your point though.
You go see Shanae and see what happens. That's all I got to say.
Come back, the door's locked.
Yeah. Keys, locks change, your stuff is missing. No, I'm not even that kind of person. That's too much work.
Yeah.
That is too. I'm not that. But yeah, people say that, but in my mind, why put yourself in that position?
Yeah.
Why put the trust in our relationship in a test? It's going to be tested enough by natural things that happen. Why create a situation?
Right.
So no, Shanae, you can't go see Shanae. No, and you can't tell me you going to see Shanae. That just needs to be not in your thought process. I think it opens the doors to things you don't need. It's hard enough.
Yeah. And
it just opens the doors. Does that mean you have to, put a hard line and you can never see Shanae again? And how are we saying Shanae? Tina, I like Tina. Shanae is so still.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Tina.
No. Tina. Okay. That's like Becky, isn't it? Anyway, this other person that's a female. I think it just creates more stress that needs to be. Right. And does that mean you can't see her? No. But that means you need to be wise. I think it calls for wisdom. And I think it calls for an honest conversation with the couple. So it is case by case, but I would just say, So, but back to I want to hear from anybody else that wants to speak about this whole idea of can you be friends? And then we added the idea of being attracted to the other person. Can you sincerely be friends? And Abby and I talked about this before, so I love what some of the stuff I'm putting her on the spot. She gave me that look like, did you just put me on the spot? Yes, I did.
My opinion on if a male, female can be platonic friends, yes, it's possible. However, I don't think that it happens often. As Trent said, there has to be no interest in that person, and the two involved needs to have, true conversation. Ask the hard questions, be honest. But I don't think for the majority that men and women can be platonic friends. It is possible. There's always exceptions. But I'm thinking about what my brother told me years ago. He said, Abby, men and women cannot be platonic friends.
Yeah.
There's a possibility that people don't always reveal their true feelings.
And that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, what about, you said being honest about it. What about the idea of, do you think it happens that if one person changes how they're feeling, say it started off maybe platonic, and the more you got to know this person, which can happen, you realize, I kind of like this person because there are things I'm learning about them. Do you think that happens where the person will say, hey, I'm liking you now. Where do we go from here? Is that an honest conversation that you think happens? I see a hand coming up. I feel like I'm in school.
If I'm being honest,
Please
that's
do.
my previous relationship. That's how it happened.
Oh, okay.
We were friends. We were hanging out, and I'm like, you're really nice. Like,
I like
we have a lot of
you.
things in common. Okay. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot my shot. And originally it was like, no, I'm not feeling that. I'm not
Right.
feeling
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And then I was like, you know what? She was like, after we still were friends, it didn't ruin it. And then she was like, you know what? I see you, and I actually do want to try this out. I didn't want to lose the friendship because sometimes I feel like if one person is feeling and the other person is not, that can end the friendship on bad terms. But I say it can work out.
So how did that happen for you then? Because you living what we talking. You was holding out on us, huh? You just came in and slid in at the end now. Okay. Well, how did that work out then? You said that you've had this happen where it was platonic. You started liking her. You shot it. This is the same example you was reading my hand. And this was not scripted. I did. Yeah. So what happened? How did you feel when she was like, no, I'm not interested? How did you still have we're just cool. Yeah.
Because I still valued the friendship.
Okay.
Because at the root of it, it was a friendship.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't want to lose you from my life just because I have feelings.
Feelings for you. Okay.
So I said, I still want to be your friend. And then it turned into a relationship later on down the line.
So did you feel like you had to check your feelings? Like
yes.
you had to pull back all the way?
I had to put my pride aside. Put my feelings aside.
So what do you think would have happened if she hadn't have come around? If it hadn't have been like, I think I do want to. What do you think? Not that you don't have a ball that'll tell you, but what do you think might have happened with that relationship if she hadn't have come around? Like to Abby's point of men and women cannot be friends. Abby's like, I got something to say about that.
If I'm the woman in your scenario, then I could no longer be.
Oh, yes. Wow.
Because you have revealed to me that your feelings for me is much deeper. It goes past the platonic friendship. So I would tell you that I'm so glad you revealed that to me. But I think at this point, we could no longer be friends.
So that's a two different scenario. You all kept the friendship, but Abby is saying in her situation, now why would you feel that way, Abby? Why would you feel you would have to end the friendship even, not just, you would end the relationship of a friendship?
When I say end the friendship, I don't mean that we can't
be cordial
to each other, but I don't know the scenario previously before, I don't know if you guys hung out but I wouldn't be able to do that anymore.
Wow, that's interesting.
Became a problem. It's like an unbalance in like the relationship kind of, because it's like, okay, well, I was vulnerable and now I'm rejected. So it's an unbalance.
But if I was the person who revealed to the guy that, I was feeling him and he wasn't feeling me, I would be okay with him telling me the same.
Right. Would you stop that friendship if that happened?
I sure would.
So if he said, I'm not feeling you, you'd be like, okay, well, we probably need to not be friends.
Yeah. Because
you're liking him.
It's not like I could turn
it
that
off.
Off.
Yeah. I would. So in essence, it's kind of like Devante saying he planted the seed and he was just waiting on it to harvest.
Look at that.
But she's
analogies over here and everything.
Sister Abby said, "Oh no, got to cut it at the root. Got to cut it at the root."
Exactly. That's a very interesting where it went two different directions, and I can see what you're saying, Abby. I think for me, it would just be too hard to see that person all the time, knowing that I like them and they don't like me. and it would just be like torturing myself all the time. So I could see me being like, you know what, maybe we need to. It's nice knowing you. I'll be cordial, but that would be hard. But your situation worked out. At least for a little time.
For a little time.
I got a question for her. Like, would you block him?
No, I would not block him unless he gives me a reason to.
He goes psycho.
Yeah. And I don't block anyone without informing them first that I'm going to block them.
Oh, really?
That's so nice.
Oh, no, I block.
Yeah,
That is so
because
nice.
sometimes they don't know why you're blocking them, and they may attempt to contact you from another number. So to avoid all of that, tell the person, why you're blocking it. They have to give you a reason first. They have to give you a reason first.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. Somebody comment, she live in the suburbs.
I'm not just going to block someone without a good reason. They have to give me a good reason. And if they do, then I'm going to tell them, I'm going to block you because, and then I'm going to block them.
You work in HR?
Very succinct, right?
That's actually pretty nice. I've never
Yeah, that
heard
is,
that
because
before.
I haven't. I figure you know why you getting this
No,
face
they don't
blocked.
always know.
You know you messed up.
No,
You done
they
said something crazy. Block. And then get a call. Why'd you block? You know why I blocked you. But, yeah, no, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
I had a situation where I actually had to block because we started out being friends.
This whole friend thing.
Yeah, we started out being friends, and she never really tried to interject into any of my relationships. I never tried to interject into hers. But there came a time where she had asked me, hey, are you watching the game? Yeah, I'm watching the game. Well, I'm thinking that she's asking, can she borrow a subscription service or something? We know we do it all the time. Ghetto blessings.
Yeah.
Another podcast.
Another podcast. But she was actually asking, can she come over and watch the game
with
me?
you?
And I thought about that. I'm like, I, being a Christian man, don't even trust me.
Myself.
I don't trust myself.
Being honest,
to be in the same room with you for 2.5, 3 hours, whatever.
Right.
And think that we're just going to watch
The game. Yeah, there you go.
No. So I realized that it was time to cut that off. It was time to cut that relationship off. And I knew that person would not understand.
Right.
I knew that they would have a difficult time seeing it from my point of view. So absolutely block, and that was the end of that.
And so you never told her why?
Never. I did explain to her. I said, absolutely not. I don't trust myself. She did push back and say, we're just friends.
The conversation, the
it
just
goes
friends
back
category,
to
yeah.
That top rule that Pastor talks about, time, opportunity, and certainly the place. That places all the responsibility of whatever happens on me.
You.
So certainly I didn't want to be responsible for that. And so, block.
That was so mature. That was so mature and so responsible. I love that. And that's hard. That's very hard to do.
It was.
Now, everything is free. It's 22. Do we still follow, might be another podcast we do, do we still follow these ideas of celibacy, or do we follow, or these ideas of, being single and not being single, but that is very hard to do now. And you don't the stereotype, I should say, is that you don't hear guys doing that. That is like, it's all, all gloves up, it doesn't matter. But that's not true. You held true to yourself and your faith, and to her. You showed the respect for her that I don't want to do that to you. You may think it's okay right now, but you're going to hate me later on for that. So that says a lot. Yeah, that is interesting.
Right, I thought we were just watching the game.
I'm hood and old.
I thought the Packers and the Bears were going to be on,
But you saw, that's what we talked about earlier too, wisdom.
Yeah.
You saw in that she really was liking you. Absolutely. That it was something else there, which was what Abby was talking about, that we're not true or on our feelings about liking you. And that was her way of trying to testing you. I would assume, because if she's watching, I don't want you to text me. I don't want you to, but if she was trying to I would think she's trying to test out you and what you were going to do.
I think I felt that it was my responsibility to take that exit as soon as I saw it. Like it's like, okay, no, this is not about going somewhere to hang out. No, you want to
Come to
out
my house.
here in a personal space, and I look at it as I'm losing too much, and I can't afford to lose that. It won't cost you as much as it'll cost me.
Look at you.
So
Come on now.
I realize like that the decisions that I make, even in my personal space, even affect others around me.
Come on.
And so,
I was supposed to say, come on now.
Like
That's
you-
that integrity.
you
What
are
you
really
doing?
like-
Nobody
All right.
looking.
yeah, by taking that exit, that highway, you are really not only protecting yourself, but even others around you.
Yeah.
And in her thought, in her relationship, that it made her probably stop and think, well, what am I, and that would make me stand up like, oh, wow, he said no. And not no because I'm not attracted to you, not no because I don't want, no because of my value system. And I want to respect you. Go ahead, Abby.
And just the point of what he was saying, I don't think a lot of singles are honest and have those honest conversations. Lucky he was honest about the relationship, but she wasn't.
Yeah.
She obviously had, some kind of interest. And I think people need to have the conversation.
And I think it might be hard to be honest because of what we just talked about. Honesty bred rejection. And that makes it hard. So that's why people don't want to be honest. And that's kind of what I said earlier is I haven't necessarily been honest with people that I liked. I haven't said it. But I think ultimately the maturity thing is, but rejection doesn't, what does rejection then mean? You might be rejected from that moment at that person, but that rejection could open up a door to something else. Whether it's self-growth, whether it's I closed that door, that person wasn't interested. That's energy I'm putting out that I don't need to expend on somebody that's not interested in me. So it's good that I know. It's good that she knew you weren't interested in her in that way because now she can focus her energy somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happens is people are afraid of rejection, because you said if somebody said they're interested in me and I'm not, I'm going to close that door.
Well, I don't view rejection as a bad thing, and this is the reason why. Although I am single, I am being prepared to be married. And in the process of being married, there's only one. There could be 100 guys in this room, and there is only one for me. So if dating is a process. If I am dating someone and they reject me, it is a blessing in
It's a
disguise.
process, right, exactly.
That's an easy weed out for me to be in a position for the right
For the next
person.
person.
And so that's how I think it's the way you have to view rejection. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's just you and that person are not meant to be connected.
Yeah.
And I definitely agree, but I don't think that people think of rejection that way.
They don't.
So that's why
They don't.
that is that I'm not going to tell you, hey, I like you. I want to spend time with you. And it became, can we see the game together, And
maybe this could be another podcast, but this is a great reason of why being single is a great time because now you are working on yourself.
Exactly.
There's self-development. You're learning more about you. And in that process, you will develop the thick skin.
Yes.
Yep.
And to understand what rejection really means.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that lead into another podcast. All right. So we have actually had a lot of good discussion on, and a lot of great topics can come out of this. I thank you all for your honesty and your openness. You all definitely will be invited to the next podcast. But we're going to start wrapping up, and I want to just wrap up with a final thought, about just what we've been talking about, what this means. And my final thought about this is just that it seems as though what we're talking about, can men and women be friends? I think it requires a set of honesty and a set of respect and wisdom on both people's parts for you to be honest with yourself and then be able to take that risk of what you think might be rejection or what you think might be a door closing, to see that as an opportunity for growth for yourself. So can men and women be friends? Yes, they can if you're honest. But if you're not honest with yourself, you might really want to have some wise thoughts and some prayer to think about, is this what's best for me? So we're going to end there. And I want to thank Trent being my co-host today.
It's an honor.
I want to thank our audience, which you may see again. And I want to encourage our audience, our family, our virtual family and friends to please make comments in the comment section. Please add in your thoughts of what we've said. Add in even some additional topics that you might want to see in our podcast of this series is going to be Myths of Being Single, but our Singled Out podcast. So just add in your thoughts and what you're thinking about. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll talk about that in our next podcast. So thank you for joining us, and this has been Iris with Singled Out. Bye-bye.
Come get your victory.